Hi, Amba. So good to see you.
Hi, Ramba. Good to see you too. But hold on, 1 minute. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're taking too long.
Yeah, just hold on. 2 minutes, yeah.
Okay, 1 minute now becomes 2 minutes. Interesting.
वही तो यार एक्सक्यूज बनाना कोई खाने का काम थोड़ी है यार.
Ah, really? But what is happening? What are you doing? Why are you so busy? We had this meeting planned, right?
हाँ, okay, done. हाँ, okay, good. हाँ, thank God. नहीं, sorry about that. So I had to actually kind of, I had a clash. So with your meeting, there was another meeting which was there. So I had to reschedule that. उसको चलो ठीक है. I've got a good rapport with that person. And so चलो I mean वो मान गया गरीब लेकिन.
No, but I like this attitude of your Amba that you rescheduled a meeting and did not kept the other person hanging, because a lot of times I've noticed that people schedule a meeting and you're waiting for them. Especially if you're meeting them somewhere which is a common place or even online, and you're waiting for the other person and the other person is like Gayab. And then when you reach out to them and say that, hey, what happened? They're like, oh, so sorry, something else came up and I completely forgot about it. It can
Yeah,
happen once in a while, but if it becomes something which is a regular feature, then it is not a nice thing to do.
absolutely. No, I mean, in fact, since you mentioned the bit about rescheduling meetings, so there are two aspects to this. One is rescheduling in advance, and the other bit is rescheduling at the last moment. Okay. I would, of course, prefer the former, and I hate the latter. But then, invariably, I mean, we are Indians after all. We Indians work on the principle of rockets.
Sure.
So rockets doesn't take off until the backside is on fire. So,
Hmm.
anyways, so coming back, you can say so last minute reschedules is actually bad because what it does is it disrupts my schedule.
Absolutely.
So I cannot plan for my day, or rather I cannot have kind of I don't have a contingency meeting as such.
Hmm.
Meeting has to be planned, and hence even if a reschedule happens, it has to be a planned reschedule. A last minute reschedule, okay, okay, so when a meeting is planned, so if there's a clash, it will be a planned clash.
Absolutely. I agree
Okay.
with you. In fact, you
Yeah.
spoke about two pointers about rescheduling in advance and last minute reschedule. I
Yeah.
actually, further divided it into three parts. In fact, if you remember, we had spoken about the to-do list being
Yes.
proactive in life. So this
Yeah.
is where, that to-do list helps with your meetings, and at times if you need to reschedule, because these things happen. If you have
Yes.
never been late to a meeting, or if you have never rescheduled a meeting, I believe in your work life cycle you would definitely do that once. And if your meeting has not never been rescheduled and somebody has not got delayed to the meeting with you, be rest assured it will happen. So
Right.
that's one part.
Absolutely.
And then dividing what I was speaking about rescheduling in three parts, like you said, one is about the last minute reschedule, and I think that kind of reschedule, of course, best is avoided, but can be done with people when you know them better. They know you and they will understand that something important must have come up, that's why you have rescheduled. Or when you reschedule in advance, a day or 2 days in advance, and something else has come up which you can't avoid, so you reschedule a meeting. However, what
Absolutely.
I prefer the most is that if something like that has happened, if you can replan, or if a meeting is delayed by few minutes, have it as per schedule, but inform the person that, hey, I'll be delayed by so many minutes, you know
True.
that
True. Yeah, that's way. So that way, like what happens is like, see, anyways, a meeting is factored for an hour. So even if you're eating away into some of the time, but then make sure it does not exceed. So if it's a 1 hour schedule, do not exceed 10 minutes.
True.
Okay, as a thumb rule. Okay, so if it's a half an hour, do not exceed 5 minutes. That way. Okay, so yeah, I mean, so that is not when you talk. I'm not even talking about corporate meetings as such, because they can be anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour or 2 hours. But
But
that's a different
even
ball game
there,
altogether.
as far as meeting is concerned, we again had this discussion about having the agenda for meeting. If you
Yes,
have the agenda fixed for a meeting, you would know how much time it's going to take,
yes,
and then
absolutely. You can
you
prepare
can
accordingly. Yeah,
schedule
yeah,
your
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
accordingly.
Right. And another aspect which I would like to touch upon is, like the reputation aspect. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, now in my case, for me, let's say, so for me, I strive to make sure that no, I don't reschedule my meetings. It's a very rare scenario it happens. But now for me, okay, now that's a reputation which I have built. Okay, so
Hmm.
when people talk about me, if Ayaz says that there's a meeting at 4 o'clock, he will make sure he's there by 3:30, even if it's online. That's the kind of reputation I've managed to build. But but then that is my habit.
Hmm.
Okay, my this thing. For the other person, he's meeting me for the first time, so he doesn't know.
True.
He may have heard about my reputation, but when he experiences, let's say the first meeting, if he experiences, okay, fine, like there was a meeting scheduled at 4 o'clock and Ayaz was there by 3:30, he will get an idea, okay, yeah, Ayaz lives up to his reputation. But if at all, if a meeting is scheduled at 4 o'clock and Ayaz turns up at after 4 o'clock, whether it is 4, 5, or 4:15 or 4:30, irrespective. But if that in that scenario, he'll wonder, yeah, people were talking about like Ayaz, he's always punctual. But what happened? Yeah, I mean, he's kept me waiting for so long. It may be a 5 minute wait for all you know. I may just be parking my vehicle,
Hmm.
or I may have some technical issues, whatever it is. But the point is, its reputation precedes your presence.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. In fact, that is why I think, Amba, we gel so well, because
Yes,
that's the kind of reputation I have, that if I have committed a time, I am
huh,
going to be there on or before time. And
absolutely.
people in my circle says, okay, Amba is going to be there. So if she has given a time of 10 a.m. in the morning, you better be there by 9:50, because she is going to be there by 9:40. So,
This reminds me of an incident which happened with me. Okay, that once my partner and me, we were called for a meeting. The meeting was supposed to happen at 4 o'clock.
mhm.
Okay, and he happened to reach by 3:30, knowing since he had worked with me, so he knew my sense of timing. Okay, he reached by 3:30. Okay, between 3:30 and 3:35, there were 10 missed calls on my phone. Okay. And I managed to stop. What I did was I just happened to stop in traffic, and I went to the side. I saw I just pulled out my phone just out of curiosity to check whether I have any missed calls or not. And when I saw 10 missed calls, I immediately called him. Like I asked him what happened. Like was so 10 missed calls. What he told me is, Ayaz, I mean, I know, like, for you, knowing you, when you say 4 o'clock, that means you're here by 3:30. This time I managed to reach at 3:25. I did not find you. So I was wondering whether everything is all right.
No, that's amazing thing. And in fact, another etiquette which I believe works a lot is, see, we both are speaking about punctuality and we prefer to be there on time. But
Right,
sometimes what happens is situations happen where you're not able to make it on time. In
right.
that case, somebody had asked me, what do you do? So, I'll give you an example of yesterday. I had a meeting, a meeting in the second half of the day. It was
Okay.
scheduled for 3:30. And, the person who I was meeting, we were meeting at a cafe. And the person lived quite near to that cafe. And so they were like, we'll just take 10 minutes. Just take 10 minutes to reach there. So, and I had to take about an hour. So I always take additional 10 to 15 minutes buffer time. So I left my place accordingly. However, there was a very smart guy on the road that day who decided to, take his car on the divider, which led to a traffic jam, and there was a tow truck over there. So yes, that ate a lot of my time as far as the traffic was concerned. So what I did, I realized that not only have I eaten that 15-minute buffer time, I might get 10 minutes delayed. So I had the meeting at 3:30. At 3:10, I messaged the person that, hey, caught in traffic snare, would get delayed by 10 minutes. So the person immediately responded, thanks for updating. No problem. I'll be, waiting for you accordingly. So I reached there 7 minutes late. You know what that person told me? The person said that something had been planned at their place before this meeting, and they had got delayed over there themselves. And they were getting worried that they will get delayed for this meeting. But my message kind of eased that stress out, that they could take that additional 5 minutes, finish that work properly, then step out for this meeting. So you don't know what kind of things you're doing. So it's always very important to keep the other person informed. Even if you are running a bit late, it is okay. Sometimes it can happen. Of course, don't make it a habit, but then keep the other person informed. You don't know how it's going to serve you in future.
Absolutely. And as I'd mentioned earlier, reputation precedes presence. So if so when a meeting is called for people, so if a person comes early, the general comment is, okay, this person comes on time, he comes before time, or this person is always late, or is this person also invited? Okay, he's always late. He'll come exactly 15-20 minutes late. That way. So that's what generally happens. So the takeaways are: number one, okay, make sure that for planned meetings, it's always easy to plan in advance,
True.
especially when you're traveling. So of course, you have a beautiful a common technology which is there is your Google Maps. A thumb rule is that whatever time Google Maps tells you, okay, count at least 1.5 times that time. So Google Maps tells you 40 minutes, count 60 minutes. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because sometimes, why I'm saying the additional 20 minutes, you never know. Sometimes there could be a deviation on the route,
No, but
which
even Google Map does that.
no, it does
Abba.
not. No, it
No,
does
I'm
not.
telling
No.
you what. So if you are looking at a location in advance, so if you tell Google that I want to arrive at this location at this time, what it gives you is a typical time band. It will not give you an exact time. It will say that at this hour, the time taken to travel is, say, for
May-
example, 50 minutes to 1 or 20 minutes. So you need to leave by this time. So if you are planning ahead, I do that quite often. So
I got it, but then let me tell you today's example. Today, when I had to go for a meeting, the route that it was showing me, but in real time, that route was closed by the police. There was a police barricade. But Google Maps did not show that. That's what I'm getting at. The deviations are
absolutely.
not.
So
Okay. So that is where I'm
that's
coming from.
a rare case, but otherwise also, if you plan
In
ahead,
India,
say
it's
for
not a rare
example,
case.
if sorry, what?
In India, it is not a rare case.
I agree with you. The kind of cities you and I stay in, this is more of a regular
Common occurrence.
happening
Yeah.
than this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But I
So
guess
yeah.
that's why Google does this, because what I also do is, if I have a morning meeting a day before in the night, I always check Google that I have to arrive at
Right.
10 a.m. at this place. So what time should I leave home?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that
So
is when it gives me that time band.
so that okay. Now to coming back, number one, factor in the travel time,
True.
factor in the traffic, factor in the deviations. These are unknown factors. Okay, and these are not something which are predictable. You never know what type of deviation you may have to take. For all you know, the location that you want to reach is just kind of next door, but you have to travel right around the city to reach there. Okay, you never know. So hence, you need to factor in all of these bits. Okay, when you're planning a meeting, when you're planning your day. Okay, number two, always respect the other person's time.
Totally.
I mean, the
That's
way
the
you
key
have your
factor,
schedule,
I believe.
yeah, the way you have your schedule, the other person also has his or her schedule. And if the other person has allocated a time slot for you, that means he has kept aside some other meeting or some other work only for you. So respect and value that. Okay, do not take the other person for granted. Okay, fine, I'll reach, like, okay, the meeting is scheduled for 10, I'll reach by around 10:15, 10:30. No, don't do that. It's a hit on your own reputation. Okay, there are people will think twice before scheduling a meeting with you. Okay, so think about this. So that's the other bit. The third thing is avoid last minute cancellations. Last minute cancellations build your reputation in a different way.
Totally.
Okay,
Because
which
then the
is
other
not
person,
positive, which is not desirable at all.
exactly, the other person may never take you seriously if you
Yes,
are regular at rescheduling your meetings. So that's
absolutely,
a very
absolutely.
important point to have,
Yes,
kind of committed to memory.
absolutely. So it's a straight hit on the trust factor.
Totally.
Okay. Yeah, that's what. So keep these. So these three are strong takeaways from today's discussion. So hence, be very, very, very careful when you talk about rescheduling a meeting. So
So
what do you say, Amba? Or what do you say, Amba?
absolutely, Amba. I think you explained the takeaways very well. And in case some viewers are still confused why this is such an important topic, I will leave you with a concluding thought, which is that think of yourself in a situation when you are stood up. How did it feel? Now, don't make
Absolutely,
the other person feel the same way. You don't like to wait for others. You don't like to be taken for granted. Then don't do that to others.
absolutely,
So that's all we
absolutely.
have for you today.
Absolutely. So do feel free to share our views, and of course, I mean, share your views as well, and share our thoughts with your friends and dear ones. You can share your views in the comment section below, or you can pick up the phone and give us a call. Our numbers are mentioned, are easily available. So thank you so much for your patronage and your continued support, and feel free to share our videos, and don't forget to share our channel and like and subscribe to it as well. And there's more to come. So stay tuned for the next. Until then, take care and stay safe. Goodbye.
And do not forget, Amba, they can also interact with us over WhatsApp. We have a
Yes,
WhatsApp group. The link is mentioned in the description. So feel free to join the group and we'll be happy to get into a conversation with you. So thank you very
absolutely.
much.
Thank you so much. Until then, see you in the next. Take care and stay safe. Goodbye.